माइक रह क्यों नहीं रहा? ओके whatever, जैसे भी रहने दो. I hope I'm audible to everyone. Hi, I'm back finally. Okay, so मैं क्यों नहीं आ रही थी? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मेरे पापा का ऑपरेशन हुआ तो उसके लिए आई वॉज रियली बिज़ी एंड देन उसके बाद मेरा डाटा ख़त्म हो जा रहा था बिकॉज आई एम पोस्टिंग इन ऑन इंस्टाग्राम दीज डेज. सो आज फाइनली मैंने 2 GB का रिचार्ज कराया एंड आई एम हियर. सो चलो स्टार्ट करते हैं. मैं कोशिश करूँगी कि आज से हर रोज़ लाइव आने के लिए. ओके 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 ओके. सो लास्ट डे हमने 133 तक पढ़ा था. आज उसके बाद पढ़ेंगे 134 से स्टार्ट करते हैं. डेवलप योर ओन पर्सनल बोर्ड ऑफ एडवाइजर as part of your plan to be wiser, more strategic, operate more effectively, and expand the time I have with high-minded leaders. I developed a board of advisors in my personal life. I hand-selected a dozen people because of their areas of expertise, creative thinking ability, and or my great respect for who they are. Once a week, I reach out to a few of them and solicit ideas, run thoughts by them, and ask for feedback and input. Having started this process, I can tell you that benefits I've received have been profound, far more than I anticipated. It's surprising the genius people are willing to share when you show sincere interest. Who should be on your personal board of advisors? Seek out positive people who have achieved the success you want to create in your own life. Remember the adage, never ask advice of someone with whom you wouldn't want to trade places. Okay, develop your own personal board of advisors. Next, so we were reading associations पढ़ रहे थे अभी. Now environment. Okay, environment. Changing your view changes your perspective. When I was in real estate, working in the San Francisco Bay Area, I lived and worked within a very limited demographic. I saw the same kinds of people operating at the same level of over and over. I needed to find an elevated circle of associations in order to go where I wanted to go. I started driving across the bay to one of the richest and most beautiful spots on the planet, Tiburon in Marin County, north of San Francisco. If you've ever, sorry for the pronunciation, if you've ever, smart team, hi. If you've ever been to Monaco, that's what Tiburon looks like. Monaco तो बिस्किट ही पता है अभी तक. Okay, that's a place's name as well. What Tiburon looks like, but far quainter. It's a spectacular spot. I would go to a delightful seafood restaurant, Sam's on the Wharf. The food was great, but more importantly, the restaurant was popular with the area's more affluent residents. Aside from going to Sam's to expand my association, I'd also sit on the wharf and look up at the hillside. I was mesmerized by the multi-million-dollar houses that hung off the cliffs. One in particular always caught my eye, a blue four-story home with an elevator and a whale lightning rod at the top. What would be the perfect what would be the perfect house? I used to ask myself all the time. If someone could just give me one of them, which one I would pick? The answer was always the same. This beautiful blue house. I was in the perfect spot with a bright vista, the best of the bunch. On my way home from brunch one morning, I saw an open house sign and thought it'd be fun to check it out. One sign led to another as I followed them, zigzagging up the cliffs along the narrow streets. I finally reached the top of the hill and found the advertised home. As I entered and walked up to the spectacular bay window, the world opened up in front of me. The peninsula tip of Tiburon, Angel Island across the bay, Barkley and the East Bay, the Bay Bridge, and the entire Francisco skyline over the Golden Gate Bridge in a 300-degree expanse. I walked out into the balcony and looked around. Suddenly, I realized that this was the very house I'd been looking at for years. This was the Blue House. I signed the contract on the spot. My dream house was now mine. I can't really say that I met anybody at Sam's who changed my life. However, that environment had a powerful effect on me. Seeing those homes up on the cliff fueled my ambition and expanded my dreams. I ended up working harder than I ever thought possible to make those dreams come true, and they did. The dream in your heart may be bigger than the environment in which you find yourself. Sometimes you have to get out of that environment to see that dream fulfilled. It's like planting an oak sapling in a pot. Once it becomes root bound, its growth is limited. It needed to great space to become mighty oak. So do you. I also feel like that. Okay. When I talk about your environment, I'm not only referring to where you live, I'm referring to whatever surrounds you. Creating a positive environment to support your success means clearing out all the clutter in your life. Not only the physical clutter that makes it hard for you to work productively and efficiently, although that's important too, but also psychic clutter of whatever around you isn't working, whatever's broken, whatever's makes you cringe. Each and every incomplete piece of your life exerts a draining force on you, sucking the energy of accomplishment and success out of you as surely as a vampire stealing your blood. Every incomplete promise, commitment, and agreement saps you strength because it blocks your momentum, inhibits your ability to move forward. Incomplete ask keep calling you back to the past to take care of them. So think about what you can complete today. Additionally, when you are creating an environment to support your goals, remember that you get in life what you support, what you tolerate. That is true in area of your life, particularly in your relationships with and colleagues friends, and colleagues. What you have decided to tolerate is also reflected in the situations and circumstances of your life right now. Put another way, you will get in life what you accept and expect you are worthy of. Okay, If you tolerate disrespect, you will be disrespected. If you tolerate people being late and making you wait, people will show up late for you. If you tolerate being underpaid and overworked, then will continue for it. If you tolerate your body being overweight, tired, perpetuated, sick, it will be. It's amazing how life will organize around the standards you set for yourself. Some people think they're the victim of other people's behavior, but in actuality, we have control over how people treat us. Protect your emotional, mental, and physical space, then you can live with peace. Rather than in chaos and stress the world will hurl upon you. If you want to if you want to foster a disciplined routine of rhythms and a consistency, so that big Mo not only pays a visit to your house but moves in. You have to be sure your environment is welcoming and supportive of your becoming, doing, and performing at world class levels. While you're on the topic of world class, the next chapter I want I want to help you to take everything you've learned thus far and give you the secret to accelerate your results. Achieving greater results with only a little more effort may feel a little like cheating or an unfair advantage, but who said life was fair? Page number 138. Put the 33 to 38. We've already been completed reading 5 pages. Okay. Put the compound effect to work for you. Next heading, summary action steps. Whatever we have read so far. Okay, let's identify the influence the input of media information is having on your life. Determine what input you need to protect your mind from, and how you are going to keep your glass mind regularly flushed with positive, uplifting, and supporting input. Evaluate your content associations, you who might who might you need to further limit your associations with, who might you need to completely disassociate from. Strategize ways will expand your associations. Pick a peak performance partner. Decide when you how regularly and what you will hold each other accountable to, and what ideas you will expect the other to bring to the conversation. Want to find a mentor? Luckily, I know the guy. Go to darrenterry.com if you aren't already subscribed and gain. That's not important. Okay, chapter 6, acceleration. Uh, okay, today I will try to complete this book. Okay, and then I'll make a summary video. I've been thinking about this for so long, but after completing this video, I'll try to do that. And also, I'm thinking of making summary of Atomic Habit. This book is really good, and I need to read this book again because I really need to be consistent in life, and this book really helps you to become consistent. Yeah, I've completed reading, but I feel like I've forgetting everything, so let's go. When I lived in La Jolla, California, I would regularly ride my bike 2 miles straight up Mount Soledad for exercise. Whatever. Soledad for exercise and a test of will. There are very few things you do voluntarily that cause more pain and suffering than riding a bike up a steep. মা দরজাটা লাগাও না তুমি দেও জাস্ট কথা হইলে না there is a point. There are very few things you can do voluntarily that cause more pain and suffering than riding a bike up a steep mountain without stopping. There is a point at which you hit the wall and come face to face with your true inner character. Suddenly, all the projections and ideas you had about yourself are stripped away, and you are left with the naked truth. Your mind start inventing all sorts of convenient alibis on why it's okay to stop. It is then when you're faced with one of life's greatest question. Do you push through the pain and continue on, or will you crack like a walnut and give up? Running the Boston Marathon in 2018, Desires Dan Linden seriously thought about quitting the race. It was wet, raining, and coldest temperature in 30 years. Des was certain hadn't drunk enough fluids and was afraid of getting cramps in her legs. Des told fellow American Shalane Flanagan that she might drop out. So if she needed anything, like someone to block the wind for her, she better let her know soon before she quit. Celine nudged Des to tell her she needed to hit the bathroom. Des slowed with her and promised she wouldn't quit until she helped her rejoin the lead pack when she entered. Despite the freezing temperatures, even more rain, and running in the winds, Des helped Shalane get back to the front. This is when she realized that she was in third or fourth place. I thought I probably shouldn't drop out, so I kept going. I felt miserable. And sometimes when you pick it up and just forget about how you're feeling and just engage for a little bit, it can turn everything around. Des explained in a post race interview. Flag Flanagan then tired, but Des kept pushing forward. But she still had to chase down Mamitu Daska of Ethiopia, the Dubai and Houston marathon winner. Mamitu has separated from the lead pack before the halfway mark and led by as much as 30 seconds. Now alone soaked to the bone, her legs beginning to cramp and facing a hand with Ma, orjado iti reju reju citra mata inta. Eceti mana no. Flanagan then tired, but Des kept pushing forward. But she had to chase down Mamitu Deska of Ethiopia, the Dubai of Boston marathon winner. Mamitu had separated from the lead. Okay, now alone soaked to the bone, her legs beginning to cramp, facing a headwind of 10 miles per hour. Des Linden finally passed Mamitu in the 21st mile, crossing the finish line in 2 hours 39 minutes 54 seconds, becoming the first American woman to win the Boston Marathon in 33 years. In this chapter, I want to talk about those moments of truth, how the compound effect can help you break through a new and greater levels of success faster than you imagine is possible. When you prepare, practice, studied, and consistently put in the required effort, sooner or later you will be represented with your own moment of truth. In that moment, you will define who you are and who you are becoming. It is in those moments where growth and improvement live. When we either stop forward or shrink back, when we climb to the top of the podium and seize the middle of the, or we continue to sudden, applaud sullenly from the crowd for other victories. We also look at how we can consistently deliver more than people expect, compounding your good fortune even further. Moments of truth. It's supposed to be hard, Des Linden told reporters after winning the Boston Marathon. Just the year before, she had almost given up on running, although I had no passion at all. She told the host of the podcast Only a Game. Des was burned out, having a horrible experience at a race, and was again that her results would tarnish a sport she really loved. Des didn't run at all the month of August 2017, which is like Stephen did run at all of the month of 2017, which is like Stephen Curry. তো রেজু রেজু দিতে মাথা ইন্টা মিতু টালু সাবা মিয়া তিয়ার মা মিতু আংলাইবার নাকি তোমা Okay, let's continue. But then they started running football. Serena Williams not picking up her racket for an okay, Des didn't run at all of 2017, which is like Stephen Curry not stepping into a basketball court, Aaron Rodgers not touching a football, or Serena Williams not picking up a racket for an entire month. But then they started running again, slowly at first, but soon rediscovering her love for running. I love competing. I decided not to concentrate on my result, and my approach was just go and try to beat some people. A few months later, in Des won her first major marathon in Boston. When I was in real estate, I hit the wall several times a day while driving in an expired listing property after just getting pum- pummeled by the last prospect. I'd start conjuring up all sorts of excuses to skip the sales call and head back to the office while out canvassing a neighborhood. Dogs would snarl at me, or it looked like it might start to rain. I'd be in the midst of money time, 5 to 9, cold calling, and frequently get chewed out for interpreting someone's dinner or favorite TV show. I was sure I needed to take a break to go to the bathroom or get a glass of water. But instead of quitting every time I hit one of those mental and emotional walls, I recognized my competitors were facing the same challenges. I knew this was another moment if I kept going, I would gain strides ahead of them. These were the defining moments of success and progress. It wasn't difficult, painful, or challenging when I was just running with the herd, just keeping up, but not really getting ahead. It's not getting to the wall that counts. It's what you do after you hit it that really matters. Low Hodge, the famous football coach, knew it was you did after you did your best that created victories. In one game, his team was down 42 to 0 at halftime. During the halftime break, Lowe showed his team a dramatic highlight reel of second effort to block, tackle, and recover the ball. He then told the players they were not on the team because they could give their all on every play. Every player on every team does that. He said that they were on his team because of their ability to make that critical extra effort on each play. It's extra effort after you have done your best that is difference maker. His team went on to win the game in the second half. This is how you win. Muhammad Ali was one of the greatest fighters of all time, not only because of his speed and agility, but also because of his strategy. On October 30, 1974, Ali regained his heavyweight championship, besting George Foreman in one of the biggest upsets in boxing history in the Rumble in the Jungle. Almost no one, not even Ali's longtime supporter Howard Cosell, believed the former champion had a chance of winning. Both Joe Frazier and Ken Norton had beaten Ali previously, and George Foreman had knocked both of them out in only the second round. Ali's strategy to take advantage of the younger champion's weakness, his lack of staying power. Ali knew if he could get Foreman to his wall, he could then take the advantage. This is when Ali came up with the tactic later termed rope a dope. Ali would lean on the rope, shielded his face while Foreman threw hundreds of punches over 7 rounds. By the eighth round, Foreman was exhausted. He was at all his wall. It was then that Ali dropped Foreman with a combination at center ring. And remember the conditions that Des Linden faced. At the starting line, temperatures were so cold that runners were given an extra bib to wear over their layers of clothing. There were gusts of wind of 35 miles per hour, and without nice weather, the crowds that a lot of runners could count on were thin and spread out. It was so bad that it was comical. Linden told only a game. The rain is just jumping on you. You're soaking wet after 1 minute out there, and a few hours ahead of us, but Des fought through the rain and she went to break away from the pack of a light competition. She got to run past iconic landmarks like Fenway Park and Kenmore Square and finished soaked with prizes, difficult as the conditions were. I was a desirous day to triumph and win against all the odds. When conditions are great, things are easy. There aren't any distractions. No one is interrupting. Temptations are luring, and nothing is disturbing your stride. It's not until situations. So we've completed reading 10 pages. What is the time? Okay. Let's difficult this one. Situations are difficult when problems come up and temptation is great that you get to prove your worthiness for progress. As Jim Rohn would say, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. When you hit the wall in your disciplines, routines, rhythms, and consistency, realize that when you are separating yourself from your old self, scaling the wall, and finding your more powerful triumph and victorious self. Okay, 13 pages are over. Let's complete it next week. By next day we can complete the book. Whew. So these days I don't have any viewers, like one or two. So I wish I will come live, and I wish one day with me there will be so many readers, like seriously, who want to read book, and they can read with me. We can read together. I'll read my book, you will read your book, and like this we can read more and more and more. That's my goal, because I realize that if I come live and read book, it helps me to read this book. Like, I feel like I'm accountable. See, if I am live and I'm not reading, I just can't touch my phone and start scrolling or something else. If something comes in my mind, I won't react to it because I'm busy in reading, right? And you are there in front of me, like a just think about it. You are in the examination hall and the camera is there, CCTV camera is there, and somebody is watching. So it's like that someone is watching me directly, and I'm accountable for it, and things like that. So yeah, and whenever I read, I feel happy. Okay, so that's it. See you tomorrow. I hope, I wish, I pray to the universe that more people join in my live session and we can read together, because I want more and more people to read, because books are really good. Books help you to understand the greatest minds, what are their journeys, what have they learned. Like, just think about it. You can't be friend with a millionaire right now sitting in a village, like me, sitting in a small town, and I just can't talk to a millionaire. Why would they talk to me? But if I read a book, I can seriously talk to them and I can see what's going on in their mind. So books are ways to connect with you know okay. So books, like, you know so what I was saying, I'm not principal, okay. Yeah. Okay, what? So I was saying ki books gives you, the road to think like a millionaire, and to see how a millionaire thinks, how a great public speaker thinks, how what are the lessons they have learned along the way. So these are the things. And books are really good. It helps you to learn more words. It helps you to, improve your pronunciation. It helps you to become a better communicator. It helps you to articulate. It helps you to, you know, be more talk fluently. Oh, okay. I can say more and more and more, but time is up. Let's go. Bye. See you tomorrow, and let's read again. Bye bye.